Well, hello and welcome to another Spatial-Next talk. This is going to be a doozy, this one. This is about GIS integration. Part of my thesis about the growth and future of GIS is how we integrate it with other business systems. And today we're going to talk about some of the big business systems that are out there and how we are now able to bring GIS into those systems and integrate them. So let's dive in. So before we get stuck into the details, let's just talk about the three main themes that are part of this talk. And by the way, this is actually going to be form part of a much more detailed blog post that I'm writing. So I'm really going to introduce the concepts within this talk. So let's just really talk through number one, which is getting the most out of enterprise software. So enterprise software is software which is across the whole organization. It's just not departmental software. It is full organizational software, and lots of organizations have different enterprise solutions that are disconnected. We're going to talk a little bit about how we get the best out of those systems, specifically, since this is a GIS geospatial talk, to enabling the enterprise. That is bringing GIS into that mix of enterprise solutions. And then really the third part of that is there's really so many types of integrations that are now possible. I don't think there's really been a good job done on talking about the extent of integration that's now possible. So we'll cover 5 of the key areas that I see are integrations of GIS with business systems. So let's just cover some quick terminology. I'm going to be talking about, first of all, light integration. What do I mean by that? A light integration is really where we can actually take a mobile device, for example, and we can actually make calls into a business system like SAP, and we can make calls into a GIS system like ArcGIS. So that's more of a light integration. Now, a deeper integration is where we actually connect at a data level both the GIS system and the business system, ArcGIS and SAP, and that is the base of how we actually get that visualization and analytical capabilities in a mobile device or other devices that folks are using. And then the last piece of this is sort of integration and embedding, and you'll see me talk about business intelligence and some other technologies where GIS is actually being brought in and being sort of added, almost embedded within those existing systems. So there's a little bit of terminology. So let's talk about our first example. So Mobile Enterprise Asset Management Light Integration. There's a long title for you. So we're really talking, and I'm going to give an example that we've been building actually at Lacana, where we're actually integrating ArcGIS. And I'm talking about ArcGIS in this conversation since that is one of the primary enterprise GIS systems that are out there. So we're really talking about how we bring enterprise systems together, I just mentioned before. So the solution I'm going to talk about is Lima, which is a mobile application that has been built by Lacana, and it actually is a very configurable application. So it integrates with SAP, with Salesforce, with IBM Maximo, and again is highly configurable. And basically what the application does is it provides a window into 2 systems. So if you want to know where an asset is, or you want to update the assets that are in your area that you're working in, you have access to ArcGIS and the ability to see that stuff and again update that system. But you've also, pulling from one of these other systems, these business systems, got the ability to view work orders. So we're really pulling these things together. So it's the what of the work order, what needs to be done, which asset is it, some of the details about that asset, and then where is that asset. So in many ways, when we do one of these light integrations, it's a single interface into these 2 worlds, which are very complementary. Again, one would be if you're a field worker and all you're getting is a work order, your obvious question is, where is the asset that I've got to work against, and tell me some more about it, what's around it, etc. And that's the power of a GIS. So there's our first integration. So we move on to our second one. So this is a deeper integration. As I mentioned before, this is much more at a data layer, a data level. So in this case, we'll talk about ArcGIS and SAP. So again, another piece of work that I'm involved with, again, I'll reference things that are obviously in my universe, is a product that we've been building, which actually at a deep level is an enabling technology. So it actually brings SAP and Esri, geodatabase at Esri together, so HANA and geodatabase together. with those integrated, there are a whole slew of things that can be done in terms of, again, visualization, analytics, and other things. So this is a deep-seated integration which is very powerful. So on the front end, and again, referencing the work that we've been doing, on the front end, you can actually start building web app builder applications or experience builder applications which fall into the Esri world. So the interface is this widget-based world, but the actual data that's being pulled is coming from both systems. So it could be point and line data that are coming from a GIS, the valves, the pipes, etc., that form maybe a utilities infrastructure, some of the information about those things, but also the ability to actually see work orders or on those things, anything that relates that's pulled, that's actually in the GIS system, in the SAP system, that you can actually combine. So again, similar to an EAM system, but probably the possibilities of what deep integration actually means are considerable. So one could imagine a whole suite of integrated applications providing all sorts of different workflows. So business intelligence and ArcGIS, there's another area that's quite fascinating. So we'll talk about Power BI just for now. That's a Microsoft product. Now, BI platforms are really visualization tools. So they're really used by business folks to actually see data in different ways, charts, graphs, etc., etc. So Power BI have got their own mapping solution that sits within their world. And it is, again, a very simple mapping application that provides basic visualization capabilities. But we've now got a plug-in to that world. So there's now an integration point of ArcGIS into the Power BI world, which means that users have got two levels of access to this more complex visualization and analytical capabilities that ArcGIS brings. So you can actually have a free access through an ArcGIS interface to free data that essentially is supplied by Esri. But the more powerful part of this is folks that have got GIS and ArcGIS Online or a portal can actually log in to their accounts and actually bring in data that they've published in the ArcGIS world. And again, that offers a whole world of possibilities to view data and to actually use tools that are part of the Power BI world to start looking and analyzing that data. And within the plugin, the extension that is the ArcGIS part of that, there are a whole load of extra things that are there, infographics and things which can help look at data in different ways. So again, a really powerful way to bring GIS into these business platforms. One more, the fifth one, Teams. This is another new one. This was only announced recently, ArcGIS for Teams. And this is really quite fascinating, I think. So we now have the ability to actually bring ArcGIS capabilities into the Teams world. And those of us that use Teams, and I'm a big fan of Teams, we use it for texting folks inside our organization, we use it for conferencing calls, we use it for sharing files, for sharing all sorts of things. So it's very much a communication sharing platform. But now we've actually got the ability to add applications to it. And again, there's an extension, which is an ArcGIS application, which allows folks to actually bring ArcGIS into that environment. So what does that mean? It means people can actually work with GIS out of a single interface. So I log into Teams, I'm working, and I want to start looking at some of the GIS applications that we've got built within our organization. I can access them all directly through Teams. And there's two ways it could be done. You can actually access it directly through the plugin, or you can set up a channel, and within that channel you can actually have tabs and you can get access directly to some of the stuff that's been published. So that's web maps, that's various applications, Survey 123, Experience Builder, those type of applications are all there. So we can actually go on group calls within an organization. We can have folks that are very interested but don't really understand the capabilities of GIS, and have folks walk through the story that a web map can tell, have a look at the data, drill down, do some analytics with it. So again, a really great way that GIS can be brought into the business world. And so let me just finish by saying there's five ways I've shown you to actually bring GIS into the business world. And I think my thesis is, if we only treat GIS as a standalone technology and we try and point people to go directly to ArcGIS, we are missing a big part of the business community. if we start to integrate GIS into workflows that are within SAP, within Salesforce, we bring GIS into Power BI, for example, so those business users that are looking at that data have got the ability to use GIS. Similar with Teams, we are widening the use of GIS within the organization. We're seamlessly bringing it into the workflows that business folks are currently using, and we empower business users to realize the value that GIS and spatial analytics can bring to them making business decisions. Okay, that was our talk. That was a deep one on integration. Feel free to ping me with any questions you might have. And as I said, this is a lot of the work that I do with Lacana, is within these different platforms and bringing these things together. So I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. And I will look forward to doing the next talk. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us on the Spatial-Next channel. We're focused here on understanding the future of geospatial. That's both how we get to mainstream adoption of the technology and data, and how we start using blockchain and crypto to move things forward. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.